Welcome to Creators X, our series with Vultr putting the human in tech. Very excited to have Viru with us today from DDN. Thank you so much for coming over. I know it's a busy week. Y'all got the bus outside. How are you doing today?
Amazing. I feel, refreshed. I feel energetic and alive. When I see this buzz around the floor, I see people discussing challenges and problems and issues, and it just gives you that motivation because you've heard that, right? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
You end up in more innovative things when you hear about people's issues and problems, and then you can discuss it, you can understand it, truly empathize with them, and then figure out the right solution. That's the way I see today and every day for me, right? It's motivating. AI is motivating because it's solving the most complex problems in the world today.
Well, and you mentioned that you have been known as the complex problem solver. It's no wonder that you're in the role that you're in here. I know something else that we share is that we're both design thinkers, and that we're all about empathy and designing with the user in mind. You mentioned being on the show floor and getting to talk to people. How important are those conversations in the types of solutions that you're developing, both at DDN, but with Vultr, with NVIDIA, everyone that you're working with?
We all need to be grounded in reality. There's a lot of hype around AI, but unless you talk to the startup creators, the builders, the innovators, the designers, the architects, the business owners, you don't get to know what they really need or desire. There's this whole thing in design thinking about understanding needs and rephrasing or purposing the problem statement itself and reframing it in a way that it makes sense to you and creates the right impact. I feel I get that every time I speak to someone. I say, oh wow, I never thought about it. We need to be in their shoes to understand what they need and why they need it and why is it so critical and where is the impact. If you want to create impact in this world, we have to be connected at the ground level to all of these innovators. They're all thinking at different levels.
Yes, to different innovators and to different members and people of all different ages. You mentioned that your fabulous 84-year-old mother asks you about AI, and she's in India. What are the conversations like with mom?
So she calls me on the phone and says, I have a problem. This app is not working. This is new AI feature. How do I use it? What is this thing about? Should I be worried about it? Should I be scared? Do they have all my information? All of these insecurities crop up, especially in senior citizens, because they are being surrounded by AI everywhere they go. Google is telling them about it. Of course, Vultr has new solutions. DDN has. Everybody has a message to give, and it's all new and complex to them. And they need to figure out their way. They need to figure out how to survive and excel. And that's what humans are known for, right? To truly invent what they should do next, depending on the environment around them. And they adapt and they build tools. And that's the way I think of my mom, that she is so smart at age 84. She is still learning. She keeps learning about all the tools, all the apps. She says, should I use 2 phones or 1 phone? Like they're all used to that. And imagine when there's a robot sitting at home, now they have to interact with a third device, which is more intelligent. And so how do they learn about the basics of AI? It's really, really critical right now.
First of all, I'm not surprised that you come from a family of curious learners. That is so lovely. Good job, Mom. What do you hope that AI maybe it can already do this. What do you hope it does for your mom eventually?
The easiest way to put it is a simple life of enjoyment, peace, and productivity. She believes in yoga. I also believe in yoga a lot. We are all people who are trying to create that balance. And when you have technology helping you achieve that balance, it becomes better. So my vision is that all the senior citizens can use these tools, whether they are voice-related tools, transcription, translators, whatever it is, right? Like all the tools to help them live a more peaceful life, a more balanced life. I think at the end of the day, we as humans, we want peace, we want happiness. And it cannot be achieved if you're just overwhelmed by uncontrollable parameters or variables around you, right? AI helps you reduce that in many ways.
It does. I gotta say, you are probably the first person to tell me that AI might help make us more zen. But I think that's actually really, really powerful. What else do you think this new technological revolution could do to help us find balance? Can you give us some use cases?
Sure, I love use cases. By the way, use cases matter a lot. So let's take an example of Indosat, one of our customers at Indosat. They're using it for sovereign AI. They started off with using AI basically for language translation so that everybody could learn Bahasa language locally and use it for business. So every person has a super app, a communication device. They're able to use AI to communicate in a common way and an easy way. Guess what comes next? The next use case is COVID and healthcare and how to deal with vaccines and how to go keep your health, fit and fine, and how to do all that. So as a citizen of the nation, they get the support right from the top, from the country level AI, right? And helping them kind of be aware,
Yeah.
be smart about what they do and how they do it and how to stay healthy. With healthy minds, you have good AI, good data, and then you can do more. So now they are currently building financial services applications and they're enabling more business for small and medium businesses to grow. This is what I feel is a great way of using AI for the whole nation, for the states, for the locals, for the regions and the cities, for them to start using it in a more essential manner to have a better life, to better way of doing things, in some ways.
Yeah, it's holistically a better ecosystem within the community, and it's more sustainable. People have more time for their family.
Yes.
There's lots of layers to this. You mentioned vaccines a second ago, and I have in my notes that you were a citizen scientist during the pandemic.
How did you find that out? Okay. Yes, I did post that. During the COVID days, I chose to switch out of my regular job and become a person who's focused on AI for healthcare.
Amazing.
And it was a small startup, but it made me focus on all the challenges and problem statements people have with everyday issues of just scheduling a vaccine appointment, those kind of things.
Yeah.
How to organize things better, how to structure it, how to use the data, how to send the data back to the medical records, the EHR systems, right? And the state and the local government, how to make everybody aware. So I think that was a period of revelation to me that, hey, all this machine learning stuff, we talk about math and science and all, it's really useful when you apply it to something like vaccines, drug discovery, speeding up drug discovery. I started working with many companies in the healthcare, Gilead, Life Sciences, Eli Lilly and others, and I saw that everywhere the problem was the same. They had the data, but they could not figure out how to use the data for solving consumer problems or enterprise problems. And so building an AI system which is efficient and can learn from data is really, really important. And I don't want to go into the technicalities of it, but I can tell you it builds confidence and trust. Now, today, more people believe that AI can help them because we went through the challenge of COVID and AI could help. Now we can do better drug discovery. Now we can come up with better BioNemo-like models to do better AlphaFold, OpenFold, whatever you want to call it. All the new models to help us be more faster and efficient in handling new challenges as they come along. So I think that taught humanity a big lesson of how to use AI, how to use it in your personal life, and how to be aware of how it can impact your health and day-to-day life.
Yes. And first of all, thank you for your work on making the vaccines more available effectively. Every little piece of that puzzle, no matter its size, was incredibly important for all of us and the safety and the well-being of everyone. I think it's great. I mean, you touched on something I noticed in the pandemic when we were able to develop the vaccine so quickly. People thought that meant that it was less effective. What it meant is that we're able to test these things infinitely faster.
Exactly. It's speed,
Yeah.
timeliness, relevance. When do you do it? What is the right time? In fact, the citizen scientist came about because Stanford and many institutes started doing research, and they were inviting the common citizen to come in and say, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Mentally, how is it impacting you? How is family life? How is it? It's not all about technology and healthcare. It's about how you live your lives too, and how do you handle complex situations in a better, more mature, sophisticated manner. So I think of that as the real human impact. The amplification of the human power through AI. to help us do better.
I love the healthcare example. When I'm talking to a doomer, for example, I bring that up with that's first off the tongue, because who doesn't want to live a happier, healthier, longer life, and the ability for us to cure or to find, whether it's drug discovery or even a mental health and wellness balance that helps us fend off whatever challenges we're having from a health perspective.
Exactly.
It's amazing. I mean, we may learn that the combination is, the right vaccine, yoga twice a week, and 2 hikes, and we'd all just be significantly, well, we would probably be significantly healthier and happier people if we did that.
What's the end goal, right? The civilization as a whole wants to be fit, fine, and always prospering and doing well. And so we need to use these technologies to our advantage in the right way without getting scared, without getting, intimidated that, hey, it's going to take away my job, it's going to do. Think about the tooling it provides to be a survivor, a true, excellent survivor, right? Doing really well in the market, doing good in your day-to-day home activities too.
Actually, speaking of day-to-day home activities, how do you use AI at home?
I use AI mostly to check on my family. In that sense, how are they doing? Vision, computer vision, you can use that to assess the condition at home. You can also use it for security or giving alerts at home. I use a lot of those sensors to keep me, aware of the safety of the environment around us. I use it also to remind me what's the right time to do certain things. When is the time to plan? Because, essentially, we humans, if we are let go, we can be lazy people, right?
Yeah.
Anytime,
About.
we can really chill and relax and just watch Netflix and enjoy ourselves. But at the end of the day, it's nice to have somebody else, an assistant, a co-pilot, or a co-worker, a digital partner, a worker, helping you do those tedious, manual, unstructured tasks which we always procrastinate a lot on. So somebody who keeps you on track and allows you to live a better life. I think of those tools at home as very practical and useful tools. They don't have to be complex. They don't have to be technical, mathematical. They all have to do is, if this, then do that.
Right.
I see NemoClaw as an if this, then do that. You know why? Because NemoClaw or OpenClaw, for that matter, has been created in such a way that everybody can use it. And you have an assistant sitting there and say, go help me figure this out. Add this to my schedule. Help me figure out the solution to this problem. It becomes a co-worker for your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And imagine doing that in the right way. Now, all the robots and all these physical devices that are coming in our lives, they all will have the same agentic AI technology. That it will help you in the same way. So, but we need to train it. We need to train it. We need to fine-tune it. We need to really improve it so that they are not harming anyone and they are. It's responsible AI, right? Like ethical and proper use of AI, not abusing AI in any way. So, I'm a big believer in that.
Me too.
It all starts at home. You don't do it only in the workplace. You have to do it with your mother, your family members, my daughters. They're all learning about AI. It's always important that everybody is aware and using AI responsibly.
What does responsible AI mean to you?
It's a very relative term and a very complex term at the same time.
Exactly why I'm asking you.
So, I used to work in Microsoft for a few years and I liked their principles. They had 7 principles around responsible AI. I won't go into the details of it, but to keep it at a simple level, I define responsible AI as using any technology responsibly without harming or hurting anyone, right? So you can obviously do great things. Human X, this conference represents superpowers, super intelligence, becoming like supermen, superwomen who can do so much more with AI tools. With that power comes responsibility, right? With all these AI tools, we need to be even more careful about the right use of these tools. Fair use of tools. No bias in the system. Not using the data in the wrong way. Being able to apply it consistently across. Being explainable. Easy to use, and something that you don't question. You can trust AI. If you can trust AI, then you're probably a responsible user of AI, like in that sense, think about it that way, because you're starting to implement all these 7 principles of being careful about the use of technology and making sure it's really benefiting humanity.
Yes.
It's not going against what we are here to do.
Yes, it is not worth a small trade-off in the capitalistic part of that Venn diagram for any sort of negative impact when it comes to people. And you're exactly right. We should be able to trust it like we trust a good friend or our doctor or our accountant, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're a fellow yogi. I've got an interesting question for you.
Okay.
If Vultr was a yoga pose, what yoga pose would they be?
I would say they would be the mountain pose.
Ooh.
Very strong, very stable, very comforting, and giving you that feeling of ascension, feeling of power that comes with any mountain pose that you do, right? It gives you stability. And that's what most developers, builders, founders of new AI companies, they need that stability. Otherwise, they cannot create or co-create or innovate on it, right? They need that environment. I think Vultr is giving people that at this point.
I absolutely love that. You had that right off the tip of the tongue. What would DDN be? What pose?
DDN would be like water in some ways, a flexible data ocean.
Yeah.
Is a term we use, like data ocean at DDN. But think of being able to adapt to any situation and adopt new approaches too. But be a very relaxed and flexible person. So I would go almost close to something like Shavasana, where you are completely relaxed and you're able to achieve total focus, concentration, and achieve some great things in life. DDN is like that, very laser focused on making sure we are really, we are to data as NVIDIA is to compute. Our founder says that all the time. Think about every user getting the benefit of that. And so you need that flexibility, and we are really that.
I'm all about it. This has been so great. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And the light in me sees and honors the light in you, my friend.
Thank you.
Almost.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I hope all of you are having a zen of a time as we are on Vultr's Creator X. My name's Savannah Peterson. Thanks for coming to learn with us.